Hello, everybody. Tom Britt coming to you live from our Town Post Network headquarters right here in downtown Fishers. And I've kind of been silent on the video webcasting front of late. I've been really busy in the last 6 months or so, transitioning some magazines around and getting ready for some future growth of Town Post. But I had to make an exception and get back onto the video podcasting today because I have a special guest coming to us all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's a Cincinnati Bengals player. He plays offensive line. He's a center for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ted Karras. Ted, hello. Welcome to Indianapolis.
Well, thank you, sir. Thanks, Tom, for having me back on. Excited to be
here. I see the Indy garb on, so it's very apropos to bring up Indianapolis. You know, Ted, it's I've been following this for a long time. You're like a big brother to these folks at Village of Merici. But what I want to do kind of to set the stage a little bit is kind of talk about your background in football and how you came up through the ranks. You grew up here on the east side. You went to St. Matthews.
Yep.
You played football with Nick and Zach Martin, Cathedral High School graduate. You went to Illinois, played in college. And then you got drafted by the Patriots in 2016, the evil Patriots, as we call them around here. But you won 2 Super Bowls with those guys. I didn't realize you had 2 rings with the Patriots back in the late 2017, 18 range. Is that when you won
16 and 18? Yeah, thank you, Tom Brady.
So you get into the NFL, your first 2 out of 3 seasons, you're walking home with Super Bowls. You probably think this is this easy, right?
It was an unbelievable run. I kind of was like and everyone talks about that show, The Dynasty. I was just about like the 3rd generation of the Dynasty, kind of the last kind of run that the Patriots went on. So I felt very blessed to be a part of it. Learned a lot, have a lot of lifelong friends. And again, I have a lot of admiration for Tom Brady. I know he's vilified here in Indianapolis, but we had a great time together, and I know he's got a roast coming up on Netflix too, so I'm interested to see how that goes.
Oh yeah, that will be interesting to watch. I'll give you that. But I think you played with the Patriots, you went to Miami for a year back, and then now you've been with the Bengals now for last 3 seasons or so?
This will be my 3rd one coming up here. Yep.
Your 3rd season coming up. And what's so amazing about you, I think for most people, you've got the football background. Your dad played, your uncles, Alex Karras, who's my hero not because of the show Webster, but because of Blazing Saddles. Playing Mongo was probably one of my favorite scenes that he was ever in. But with the storied football career you've got, I think what I want to talk about tonight, and I think what's most interesting to people, just what you've done off the sidelines, the things you've happened to be doing with the Village of Merici in particular, and a local charity right here in Lawrence. So a lot of people may not know what the Village of Merici is or what they do here on the east side of Indianapolis and now up in Carmel. So for those that don't know what Village Merici is, Ted, tell us what they do.
Yeah, so the Village was founded by Colleen Reaney on the east side, Fort Harrison, right here in Lawrence, Indiana, and it's kind of been at the forefront of creating an independent lifestyle for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So most notably, autism and Down syndrome. And the entire mission of Merici is to provide the housing infrastructure and support needed for these adults to live independently, to live a fulfilling life that, that includes community, employment, independent housing. And then, the support ranges anywhere from 24/7 to, maybe a once a week Sunday check-in. So they've been expanding. They've been pioneers. Colleen is a pioneer in this field. There's little to no infrastructure currently, but that serves this purpose. And, through these hats, we've been able to fund a new build right there in Fort Bend as well. And we have the North End apartments up on, 126 in Carmel. So,
right.
There's a lot of stuff going on. This is the first time now too that these individuals will own their own units. That's kind of a first time ever in America, really, that an organization is fulfilling that. And so I just think it's very special. And these hats this was never my intention with any of this gear. The Cincy hat obviously started, I just printed them as a fun little party favor because Cincinnati signed me to a 3-year deal, and it's taken off into over $1 million in sales, and really done so much good, and really been the brand is synonymous with just do-goodness, because there's really not a lot of, there's no other organization that I can think of that does more practical good than the Village of Merici.
How did you get involved with them to begin with? I think this is a funny little maybe anecdotal story, but a couple years ago, Carol Davis that works at Village of Merici, I've known her fairly well. I've been working with her for years, and she reached out to me and says, "Hey, we had no idea, but there's this Cleats with a Cause for NFL. It's a Sunday. Everybody wears their cause on their cleats, and I'll be dog if Ted Karras is not wearing Village of Merici cleats." And I don't think they even knew about this. So how did you get involved with them to begin with? I'm going to show those cleats, but tell me this backstory, how you got involved with them.
So the Reenis are a St. Matthew family. When we moved into Indianapolis in 2006. I was an 8th grader, and Matt Reeny was in my class. And so throughout high school with service hours and college, we would stop back and work with the Village. And then, when I first started getting in the NFL, that was basically my charitable donation with my time and money, was just trying to help the Village. We threw a couple happy hours. We did a few casino nights, and it really all came to fruition in 2022 when these hats went up for sale. And first night we sold $67,000 worth of hats, and it's kind of just snowballed from there. I can't thank the Cincinnati community enough. It's really been unbelievable how this kind of morphed, and I think that's what makes it so special. There we go.
Here we go. One of these guys.
I know that's
the Reds hat.
Yeah. And I can't thank the Cincinnati community enough and it's so special and how organic it was. We're not going, this isn't a brand that's going out to make a buck. It really is truly 100% all to good. And, one thing that we're going to show coming up is the practicality of what these dollars went to. I don't think enough charitable organizations show the people that donate and the people that buy products, where this money has gone. And we have made such amazing progress on this second building in Fort Bend. And I just can't wait to share that. We're going to get a nice video made up, because I want people to see, where their $35 went that they spent to buy a hat. And it's going directly to stick framing an old barracks building and turning it into 38 units and chipping away at a very extensive wait list, not only in Indiana, but across the country.
It is really amazing how much traction it got so fast, and just how it took off like a wildfire. And I think what really threw fire on the flames maybe last year was this whole Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination that you got. You were nominated by the Bengals because of your work with Village of Merici. Talk a little bit about that process. I'm going to show a few photos, because I think I wasn't there the day you came up for game night and they surprised you by telling you, but kind of talk through what happened, how you found out about it, and just what that experience was like for you overall.
Well, what an incredible honor, first of all, to be mentioned in the same breath as Walter Payton. And the Payton family has done so much good, not only for the game of football, but for communities around this country. And to be involved in that caliber of men is an honor that, I'll never take for granted my entire life. And, Cam Hayward was such a deserving winner. It was so cool to meet everyone in Vegas and kind of talk about what we do, and really did propel a lot more fundraising for the Village. The nomination of the award comes with extra donations from nationwide, from the NFL. And again, all of this is just going straight to providing infrastructure of housing, which I can hammer that home as much as I want, because there really is, there's basically none. And right. That is, turned into my life's mission, is to, help create this independent lifestyle, because these adults are taken, through the governmental system until they're 18, and really they're on their own after that, especially if they can't find a direct service provider. And they're very capable, and they're very willing to learn and to work and to they crave being a part of a community. And so, that's what this mission is all about, is providing that community and providing the necessities at a base level to live a full life.
Yeah, and we actually know some folks. I actually know a guy that lives down there in Lawrence, who went to school with my daughter, and we became friends with their family. Actually went on the 8th grade field trip with him and all that. And he lives there at the Village of Merici. And they were actually at the casino night. We went to that casino night last year with you. You came up with all your buddies from the Bengals, and we were talking to them. I hadn't seen them in years, and they just said what a godsend it is to have a place that he can call his home. He's got services there if he needs them, but he feels he's independent. He doesn't have to live in mom and dad's basement his whole life. And I think giving people like that have developmental disabilities the ability to live as much on their own as they can and have that independence is invaluable. And I know that when I went to that casino night with you, obviously you're a lot bigger than most of the people there, height-wise and otherwise, but they were just all over you. And I've seen this at the game nights. I've seen this in the videos. I call you their big brother. It's almost like when you come there, you make yourself at home and they make you feel at home. What has that meant to you in your personal life? You said this is your mission now. I didn't hear anything about trying to play 5 more years in the NFL. I'll hear about the Village of Merici and your mission of helping these people with housing and infrastructure is your word now. What's this mean to you personally, this relationship you have with the folks at Village of Merici?
Well, Tom, I certainly still have some football goals that I'm going after. But it's really, I don't think I've ever experienced something that's such a clear, moral and ethical and righteous true north than helping these folks. They're just the light of the world. And obviously, a marginalized community that has really been kind of at the mercy of, what family they were brought into. And many of them have amazing families. But, as your parents get older, there's a sense of, relief that the village can provide, that someone is looking out for you, no matter what, for life. And I think that's so important to these families. And there's so many people that are waiting to, get a spot, and we're working as fast as we can to, try and provide this housing and this relief as life expectancy and as care for these adults just keeps getting better. And technology, we see people with Down syndrome living into their 60s and 70s, and you're just the reality of life. At some point, you're going to lose your parents and you're going to lose your family structure that's taking care of you. And I think that it's just such a righteous cause to provide them with the ability to continue moving forward in their life and build something of their own. A lot of these villagers have their own jobs. They have relationships. We had a marriage there. It's with a little bit of help and support. We can live as normal and fulfilling as anybody else in the city of Indianapolis.
Well, so we're going to switch hats now and talk a little bit about this Indy hat that you have on. I've got the last year's model.
You got last year's iteration. Yeah, we're doing new art every year.
You are? Okay.
Yeah,
so
we're going to do new art every year. This is the new one. And that was last year's. It's always going to keep it fresh with Indy because we are an Indianapolis organization. Obviously, I play football in Cincinnati. That's obviously an easier marketing sell. I'm not on the Colts. If we're on the Colts, we'd probably have a blue hat going around. But because May is such a special time in the city of Indianapolis, it obviously the Indy 500 has put our city on the map for generations. It's a worldwide, humongous sporting event, and we want to be a part of it. And this is we're right on the east side of Indianapolis. I think the designs are really cool. One thing that we've always done is had pretty good art, I feel, and wanted, the city of Indianapolis to know that we are also repping them and that they have some equity in this, because this dream did start right there on the east side, right just east. I think it's just east. I think Fort Bend's just east of 465.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Just right outside
Right
465.
side, yeah.
So these Indy hats, okay. So you came out with this line last year. You sold some hats, quite a few hats. A lot of people wearing them at the track. We didn't go to the race last year. Went to Fast Friday, and I probably saw 5 or 6 hats just walking on Fast Friday. This year's model is a little more updated, some different styles than you had last year. When people wear these hats, is this about the Indy hat being cool, or is it about the people that buy the hats being now prophets and evangelists for what Village of Merici is doing on the east side of town?
I think it's both. I think that's why this project has been so successful, is that it is a great product. It's a premium product from a 108-year-old hat company, Imperial Hats, who I can't speak enough good about. But it's also really, when you wear it, it's kind of like a badge of helping this community. And I think when you pair that together, it creates a very powerful brand, if you will. I don't like calling it a brand because we're not going out and trying to, brand ourselves, but I think it's just morphed into, a brand of service and goodness, and, pairing that with cool art, cool designs, and repping, obviously the biggest sporting event in Indianapolis, I think is a great marriage.
Yeah, and I'm taking people through the website. If they want to go online and buy the hats, just go to theindyhat.com, and that's on the bottom of your screen. These are some of the hat styles this year. I see the little bucket hat, like the Gilligan's bucket hat this year.
Yeah.
You got the visors, which I know will be really popular at the track this year. Talk through the design this year. How did that design come about? Same designer as last time, or what?
Oh, well, so we do a lot of our stuff in-house, with just me and Matt Rini, kind of just bouncing ideas back and forth with each other. Neither of us are very, great artists, but we can kind of come up with a macro idea, and then, we kind of outsource it to different graphic designers, and the Imperial art team is very good as well. But really, yeah, we just want to keep it fresh, keep it new. And, the Indy being just like kind of a 1 month summer type deal, keep that new every year. But the new styles, so like that, the hat you have on, that's our first thing that we made. The SKU number is 5054. It's called the Wrightson, but so it's a bigger hat, as you can see. So we've kind of, we'll have some of those as well, but we have more just traditional style hats.
Yeah.
Like a mesh back and a lot more snapback, and then Velcro backed hats that are, maybe, for people who don't have such a big head as I do. And, a lot of our new styles are very, very compatible for women. So we're very excited about, all the new SKUs that we have coming out, and the design that we have. I couldn't be happier with it.
And the price point on these hats, take people to the price point, and then who fulfills these things? Who's putting these things in boxes and mailing them out to people?
Yeah, so these probably the hats are all $35, and with that, $20 goes directly to the Village of Merici. And who's putting them in the boxes is Villagers and Matt Rini. So Matt is, I can't speak highly enough about Matt. He is captained this whole project. I've been kind of the public champion, but without Matt in the background, fulfilling all this and setting up, all our procedures, I don't think we have as good of an organization as we do. But, Matt and volunteers, we've had a lot of volunteers, and then a lot of people who live at the Village go into the hat room, pack these up, and we try to get you your hat, within a week. 2 or 3 days is kind of our target point. I don't want to speak out of both sides of my mouth there and make promises I'm not fulfilling, but we get you your hat fast. And Matt's over there packing at the Village, most nights, and we've had great feedback on our customer service, and that's all a testament to Matt and the volunteers and the Villagers themselves.
So I guess it all comes down to fundraising, right? So you're generating like $20 roughly per hat that goes back to the Village of Merici. Any idea how much this thing has generated so far for the Village? Because this is new money to them. This was not something they had budgeted 2 years ago that they hoped to sell out of hats. I mean, this kind of came out of nowhere. and also with Nationwide making a donation. Any idea what that number looks like roughly?
Well, I'd say probably between donations and hat sales, we're somewhere around like 1.4 million. I wouldn't say that's just revenue. So I would say we're approaching $750,000 of net. I hope. I don't know. I don't see the books. I made that decision very early with and Colleen will get mad at me if I say I can outweigh the number, because I don't know. I truly don't know.
Okay.
But I do know kind of like the macro view of how much we've sold and plus donations and stuff. But yeah, I made a decision really early that I'm not ever going to receive a cent from this. So I kept it really clean because I didn't anticipate it being this much. And, I just didn't want to have to deal with any of that. There's been a lot of things in the news over the last 10 years of charities being bunk, and that's never going to be the case with us. This is all going straight to the Village's bank account. Ted Karras has received not a penny from this, and
actually, you've thrown a lot of money in this thing. If I remember correctly, you seeded everything. A lot of
matches, and
you've done a lot of matching. So this has cost you a lot of money, and I would say cost. If you've donated a lot into this fund, and I do know for a fact that this is all being handled outside of your wheelhouse. I mean, you're the rainmaker. You're helping to make it rain, but they're taking care of it.
That's what's so cool about this project is it's going to. I mean, that's why I just can't wait to share the progress of this building. That sold out in less than a day because of just the supreme need of these units. So that's the cool thing about the project. You're given to an organization that is actively putting this money to use for their mission, which is housing the adults in the IDD community.
Well, Ted, I can't thank you enough on behalf of them and all the people that you're helping with this, and the people you're going to help that aren't even moved in yet. That maybe we'll hear about the Village of Merici in the coming months, or maybe they run into somebody at the Indy 500 wearing one of your hats and find out about what you're doing, and they decide to look them up and figure out a way to be a part of it. But I think you're just a great human being for doing what you're doing, but you're using your platform for good. And on just behalf of everybody at Village of Merici and all the people in the community at large, I just want to say thank you for what you've done. It's awesome. I highly recommend you guys get your hats. They do have some last year hats still available online. I call those the original models. And then I've got the 2024 models, which are now out. Those are on the website as we speak. So just go to the indyhat.com and buy your hats. It's $35. It'll be the best $35 you ever spent. And Mother's Day is coming.
Mother's Day is May 12th.
So if your mom, if you guys are going to the track, they do have ladies' hats. They've got the beanie hats, the beaners. They've got visors, everything you can imagine. So what a better gift to get them than something that's going to give back to our local community here at the Village of Merici. Ted, thanks again. Best of luck to you with this venture. And I know you're coming to town here, I think later this week.
Yep.
So we look forward to seeing some news on that. I think you guys are going to be doing some checkered flag parking lot painting, if I'm not mistaken.
We're painting I think they're painting up at the north end today, but that's a big tradition of the Rainey family always paints their driveway, the checkered flag, but now we're going to do it at the Village and at the north end apartments, and hopefully just continue raising money and furthering the Village's cause.
All right. Well, we'll put a link in the comments below as well. Again, Ted, thank you so much. And please have a safe trip up here to Indy. And we're so happy you're going to come up here and get a nice big hug from the Village of Merici villagers.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. Hope you have a great night.
All right. Take care.
Talk soon.